Hello and welcome to another episode of The Author's Voice. My name is Brenda Dempsey and I'm the CEO of Brilliance Publishing, and this is a platform where I get to talk to some of my wonderful authors. And today we've got a duo. This is our first duo and I'm thrilled to have them on this journey with us and asking us to share it with them, and also what their book is all about. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Heather Prince.
Hello, Brenda, and hello, viewers.
And Jo Baldwin-Trott.
Hi, Brenda, and hello, everyone. Thanks for watching and listening.
So I am really thrilled to be working with both of you. The journey so far has been tense, intense, but absolutely immense, and it's been so pleasurable. I love it. So I'm going to go to Heather first, alphabetical order and all of that. So Heather, do you want to just share with everybody who you are and what you do before we get on to the book?
Yes, my name's Heather Prince, but I'm mainly known on social media as the Root Master, because I believe in getting to the core root of people's issues, which could be from the present life, past life, or indeed ancestral shadows that are affecting the manifestations which are happening that are causing problems. So that's me. Thank you, Brenda.
Wow, very interesting indeed. And Jo?
Yeah, hi. So I'm a multidimensional mentor. I coach the coaches, and I very much work on a soul level too. So Heather and I have this beautiful similar work that we work in, and color is obviously a part of that, but actually I'm very much working with the soul and the deeper issues that challenge people not to hold in themselves and their truth. So that's me, and I live in Hove, East Sussex, by the sea.
Oh, very beautiful to be by the sea, absolutely. So what I want to know is, I'm going to ask Jo this question. Jo, how did you and Heather get together?
So very fortuitous that we bumped into each other. We were both in a network at the time, a women's network called Athena, and I was kind of doing some flitting around, visiting different groups as a guest, and just happened to do a talk in a guest to a group in North London, which wasn't my normal group. And I did a talk about color, because at that time my work was very much focused on color. And after the session, Heather approached me and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you were talking about color. I think you said, Heather, I'm always blasting on about color." I think you said something like that. And it's like, oh, me too. Yeah, and so we just hit it off about color. And then the second part of the story, which is relevant to why we're here really, is that we again bumped into each other very fortuitously. And this is an even more kind of bizarre story, because another meeting for Athena was held. Only 4 people turned up. Do you remember, Heather? So only 4 of us. And it was Heather and myself and 2 others, when there should have been about 15 people. And for some reason, nobody else turned up. And it was all a bit of a mix-up. Heather and I ended up having the most incredible meeting, because we both then shared that I always wanted to create a book about color, about color and about energy. And then Heather mentioned that she'd had a reading and that she was guided to start a book about color too. So that was the start of this journey, and that was about 3.5 years ago.
Wonderful, wonderful. So again, it's the universe conspiring to bring the 2 of you together, the synergy and all of that. So you've mentioned color, and that's very significant. So we're going to go to Heather now. Heather, tell us, what is it about color that sets your soul on fire?
I feel that I've always loved color. I've always recognized the beauty of Mother Nature and the color that it gives us. So from a young age, I loved wearing color. I loved decorating. And from there, I actually trained when I was pregnant with my first child to do interior design, because it was just fun for me. Other people felt overwhelmed, but I loved it. And then I got involved when my friend's husband got diagnosed with cancer. And I thought, what can I do? And I knew a lady that worked in the local chemist who ran a circle. I didn't really know what a circle was, but it was a healing circle, a psychic development circle. And she said, come along. And I got totally spooked out that night. I gave healing to him and got spooked out, didn't go back. And unfortunately, my friend's husband, he did pass away, but it was a catalyst for me on my journey to learn more. I did return to that group and I trained to be a healer for over 2 years. And in that time, I learned about chakras. I learned about that each chakra energy wheel within us, like cogs within a clock, related to a color. And that began my journey, and I spun off and began 28 years ago, having a meditation group in my own lounge at home. But with 3 little babies, we were concerned that people were bringing their negative energy in our home. And then I started to hire a hall. So that was the beginning of the journey, and it's evolved since then. So I find when I'm working with clients that you have to get to the root. And yes, the root can be, as I've mentioned before, but predominantly within the person are the chakras. And when they're out of alignment, it affects everything.
So you have this understanding that color has a power. So Jo, tell us a little bit about your experience and why color lights up your soul.
Yeah, so a bit like Heather, really, I was obsessed with colour since I was an early age. And now I know actually I've got very high colour vision. My dad was colourblind and he gifted me an unusually high colour vision. So I can see way more colours than the average person. But I used to study the greens in the leaves. I didn't have a particularly happy childhood. So I used to look out the window all the time and stare at the leaves and stare at the plant as a kind of escapism. And I got real joy from it. And I got obsessed with why the different shades of green exist. When it came to me, I've got unusual skin tone for this country. And when I was a teenager and all my friends were wearing these cool, funky colors and looking amazing in them, I always looked really pasty. And I used to wear fake tan all the time. Fast forward to age 35. And I was just had my children. So I was feeling very tired and very ropey. And I discovered by accident or not, that colours actually worked for me. So I got put in the hot seat at a colour party and got shrouded in all these different drapes of all these different colours. And I was miserable as anything. And actually it was a very painful experience having to look in a mirror because actually it was quite monumental in my change in my life. But the colours really lifted me, even though I was tired. I was feeding my twin girls at night. I was exhausted. And these colors just instantly lifted me. Bright greens, bright reds, colors I would never have dreamt of. I discovered at that moment it wasn't my skin that was wrong, it was the colors I was wearing. And so that evoked for me a whole kind of just thirst for sharing this love of color. And because I've got this high color vision, I can instantly tell people what the colors that will work for their skin tone are. And that's what I did for 4 years. I really focused on giving this beautiful knowledge to especially women who mostly wear black. But a lot of women wear, it's very unusual, Brenda, to see you in black. It really, and you're not just black anyway. No. But a lot of women sadly were wearing black. A lot of my clients were women constantly wearing black. Sadly, there's some really, really negative reasons for that. And they are because we were trying to hide and we just don't want to be seen too much. So gifting these women and also men these bright colors they can wear. Everyone can wear every color apart from black and white. It was so powerful. And these testimonials were, this is life-changing. You've saved my marriage. I mean, just incredible testimonials. And so that gave me this just joy of showing people color. So my work still, the first thing I do is say, look, let's look at what you're wearing and how you're feeling in what you're wearing. Absolutely. Because it's not just how you look in the color, it's how you feel, because color has a vibration. The color next to our skin will impact on the cellular level. Black has been proven to actually be one of the causes of infertility. This is serious stuff. It's not just about looking nice. So all of this is covered in our book.
Thanks a lot. So I've got to say that for me with colour, I normally think, how do I feel today? Where am I going? What am I doing? Open my wardrobe, and I think, right, I feel like red today. I feel like wearing green today. I feel like I'm going to put blue on. Why did I choose this dress today? Because it was raining and miserable, and I just wanted to feel a bit cozy. And we're moving seasons, so I thought I'll go into a wee bit of darker colour, but I'm kind of determined that I'm going to wear bright colours even in the middle of winter.
So on that note, Brenda, I would implore anyone watching this, please don't save your colour for the sunshine. On the contrary, it's more important to wear colour in the autumn and winter and in the gloomy months of the year, especially in somewhere like the UK. So please bring out those colour pops, bring out or buy coloured scarves that are really bright and vibrant, because that's when we need colour the most. It's not so much when the sun's shining, because we naturally have got the vitamin D.
We want to use colour to lift. So let's move on, because we could be So we know both of you, colour is like just it's part of who you are. It's embodied within you. So you got together and the synergy of the timing of it, and you realise, and boy, we are so aligned in what we think about colour. So tell us how the seed for the book was sown. Heather.
Well, as Jo's mentioned, I can't tell you the lady's name. I can't tell you the date. It could have been 4 years ago. Maybe it was 5. Could even have been 6. I really don't remember. All I remember is I went with a friend to a lady who was a clairvoyant, and she gave me a reading. And in that reading, she said that the higher energies are telling me to write the book. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'd already written I Am Indigo, about indigo kids. I'd already written The Rainbow Within, which was about the colour of the chakras, for children to subtly understand that all we seek as an individual is within. It's not outside of ourselves. And I'd recorded a CD to go with it. And then I'd written a book about fruit and children to understand what the nutrients in the fruit do for the body, so that they can choose what to eat to benefit health. And I thought, what else does the higher ones want me to do? And she went, oh, it's a book about the effects of colour in the world. And I thought, well, how do I know that? And then I saw an advert, and it was this, I don't even know what lady it was now, it was so long ago, that couldn't go to this networking event in North London, which was at the Spaniards Inn, which I'd never been to, but I don't like missing out. So I really wanted to visit it. And off I went. And this lovely lady, who happens to be Jo, stood up and spoke all about colour. And we had a chat after, and she said, you know, she'd learnt Reiki, and there was an immediate synergy. Not that I'm a Reiki healer, but I've learnt healing. And I mentioned this to her, and we said, look, you know, I'd been appointed as the head of Cannon Street for the networking group, but that group never took off. As Jo said, we met before the event was going to begin, and then nobody showed up anyway, because it was meant to be that Jo and I spent time that day, and I'd taken a friend with as well, that we just spoke about this project. And we knew straight away that it was vibe. We just knew, didn't we? And Jo already had an image in her head, because she works doing her colour fabrics and skin tone and everything. You knew that you wanted some kind of vibrant colour of rainbows on the front cover. We kind of knew what it looked like, and we had an idea then, which has now evolved, as everything does. You know, you start off buying a house and you think it's going to be one way, and then the rooms evolve. And that's how the book has evolved, hasn't it, Jo?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I think back to the cover that we first created, that mock-up, actually the one we've got now is not that dissimilar, is it? No. It has the rainbow of colours.
But it's even better.
But even, I mean, you couldn't have really imagined how remarkable the cover is, but it truly is. And it's a whole kind of impactful kind of presence all in itself. It really is. But everyone who sees it just goes, wow.
Yeah, it is a wow. And that's what we put out to the universe. We set out that intention that whatever it was, it had to have the wow factor, because it's going to grace so many people's homes and businesses.
And the thing we
so then back to you, Jo. Tell us, how did you go about starting to put the book together?
So we both were really aligned, Heather, weren't we? And we have been like so aligned on all of it. I mean, we've certainly had points where we've kind of gone, oh, actually, I think this, I think that. But actually, we've been so like literally just absolutely aligned. And one of the first things we wanted to do was bring colour to people's lives in a very easy way that enabled people to engage with colour in a very very kind of accessible way, because you know there's lots of books on colour and health and colour and home and art, but there were no books on colour and everything, or you know, how does colour help you or me or in all aspects of life. So that was really, really important. And we were blessed in this network. I'd been in the network many, many years already, to know of so many. And I'd already spoken to some women in our network and said, look, would you be interested in writing for this book? So actually it happened very beautifully, organically, because I kept reaching out to these other women and saying, well, would you like to write a piece? So interior designers, artists, healers, healing facilitators, loads of women that were in this incredibly beautiful network that were so passionate, equally as passionate about us as us about colour. So actually, it really just kind of beautifully evolved, you know, into what it is. The challenge actually was really kind of encouraging and sort of sharing, trying to pull it together, which is why you were fantastic, Brenda, because it was, everyone's got such different voices. A lot of our authors are actually not English speaking as their first language. So they're writing, you know, I remember spending a week on about 3 chapters, rewriting them to get them so that they would infuse with each other, because it's so important in a book. We didn't want 14 different voices going, right, now I'm going to talk to you about what I do, and now I'm going to talk to you about what I do. We didn't want that. We wanted it to be a beautiful, gentle journey of exploration for the reader. So that it naturally evolved, but I must admit it was a lot of work. And then obviously we gave it to you, we changed it completely. But anyways, that was meant to be too.
So yeah, of course, the thing is, you know, it's like you say, you start out like organising a wedding or anything, it starts out as one thing and it finishes as something different. You know, I know when we were thinking of our kitchen, it started out as this was the budget, and the budget practically doubled, you know, and we ended up with what we've got. So, and the whole thing about a book, it is a journey. You know, that's why we call it the author's journey. It's a journey, and sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes it's a roller coaster. You're doing loop-to-loops, and you're like, oh my God, are we ever going to see the light of day? But I've got to say, the other thing about this book is that you decided to make it a coffee table book. Why was that, Heather?
I think we both saw it as a coffee table book from the word go, because a coffee table book is something that you dip into. It's not like a novel. I mean, I'm an avid reader. I'm a bit of a bookworm. I will pick up a novel and I'll read it in 2 days and I'll pass it on. And I might never read it again, and someone else will enjoy it. But a coffee table book is something that can last a long time. And every time you open it, you're going to see something else or read something else or sow a seed for something else and think, absolutely. Oh, I never thought about it like that before. Oh, I didn't really know to be conscious about the colours that I'm choosing to wear. I just go by what looks okay at the time. So we want people to understand that they can actually make choices and become more self-aware. And I think that is the thread throughout the book, is to create more self-awareness for individuals of the power of colour in their environment.
Sorry. Typical. Absolutely. What I think is absolutely magical about the book is that colour is everywhere and we don't actually see it, and we miss it, and we don't fully bring our consciousness to it. But the way that the book has evolved and how the book's been put together now, each element, whether it's some words on a page, whether it's the image, there's something in each element to make you stop and think. And I think with all the discussions that we had, that was great. But let's come back to Jo. So Jo, what are the trials and tribulations of putting a coffee table book together? Because it's quite different to other books.
Well, how long have you got? I mean, this is my 5th publication, and creating anthologies is a piece of cake compared to this. The biggest challenge, really, because of the way we've done it. I mean, if Heather and I had started writing it from the outset, I think it probably would have been slightly smoother. But because of the nature of bringing all these, and we really wanted to, you know, bring in these other experts, but obviously that's been quite challenging to collate and create the smoothness. And obviously, Brenda, you've helped us massively with this. So that has been the biggest challenge, of getting all these different voices and then creating the one voice of vibe all the way through it, that's congruent, that's smooth, that's fun and engaging, not too authoritative, but authoritative too. You know, and also the biggest challenge, which I always knew it would be, but this is always a very important part of the book for me, is the images. And the images for me, you know, and I can hand on heart say, I believe 50% of our images are images you want on your wall. You know, they are, you know, so many of them are original images, but I wanted the images, I saw it, like we're saying, you know, I visualized it, and I saw them as images that you would open the page and go, oh my gosh, I have never seen that before. I want that on my wall. And that was my benchmark for the work, in the pictures, the images. So collating those images has been a phenomenal challenge. We also set ourselves a deadline, which is, you know, I'm sure, Brenda, you'll never do it again. but
never in the time scale.
Ridiculous time scale. You know, really properly ridiculous. But Heather and I are both quite stubborn, and we dug our heels in and said, right, we're going to do this. 11/11 is the destiny date for this. So we're going to do this. So obviously the time, but putting that aside, if we'd had another, say, 6 months, it doesn't matter. It's perfect. But getting those images that are congruent to the message, and also being as vast as we've done. We've got contributors for our images from all around the world. You know, some of them don't even speak English very well. It's been an incredible challenge to get the right size. I mean, this is why, if you're ever, and I know someone creating coffee table work at the moment, and I said to her, look, get yourself, don't even think for a second about self-publishing this, because if you're going to do it really well, you really need a publisher. You seriously do. Obviously, we highly recommend Book Brilliance, but it is a whole different beast for my own publications, which are so much more straightforward. But you know, the beauty and the outcome is so way off the scale, more powerful. You know, it's just incredible.
And I would also like to say, you know, it was a learning curve for us, because, you know, I don't say no, I say yes, because I know I'm a problem solver. So I know if we came up against a problem, we would go over it, you know. But certainly the last hurdle, when we started working with the printer, you know, that job alone, it went back and forth like ping pong, do this, and you know, never have we had to do so many, like it wasn't even a millimeter of an adjustment, because this printer would not sign it off for printing until we had got every little element, the bleeds, everything. So there's a lot more to like coffee table books, where you've got a lot of imagery that takes way longer than writing a book. Way longer.
And the other challenge I haven't mentioned is that I don't recommend rupturing your Achilles when you're about to start a very big project, because obviously I work as a mentor and a coach. So trying to run my own business, look after my twin girls by myself, and create a coffee table book at the same time, whilst having a ruptured Achilles, and
challenge.
Has been probably one of the biggest challenges. But funny enough, I've forgotten that, because for me that's kind of, you know, that's just part of the deal. It was meant to be too. It was meant to be too.
So Heather, what's the vision for Vibe? Now that I forgot to get you to say what it was called, but we've been dropping the name.
I think I just dropped it, and I've got a picture of it here. If we can flash
no,
it.
I'm going to show
Brenda.
it. So don't show it yet, please. Don't show
Okay.
it. I'm going.
Okay. So,
please.
the vision. Joe and I share a huge vision. We encourage our clients to dream big, so we have to lead by example.
Absolutely.
So we're dreaming big.
Yeah.
The vision is for Vibe to be global, for many, many millions of people to actually have the book, read the book, enjoy the book, and more than that, take action from what we have shared within the book. That is the vibration of Vibe, for
Absolutely.
people to literally start with self. Everything starts with self, and raise their vibe.
Well, and this is the same,
and it's the Mexican wave effect, isn't it, Joe? The Mexican wave effect of, as you do it, it's a domino effect. You touch the next person, and they touch the next person, and it will create positive change. So I think if I can put it into 2 words, it is positive change for the world.
Oh, I'm trying to share, sorry.
Yeah, that just came up.
Absolutely. And we've put our call to actions in at the end of each segment, encouraging people to take one action there and then. They can do that. We've kept them very simple. Every time they read the book, just to take that action that we offer to them to raise their vibration. And love is the fastest and most contagious energy. So share some love to yourself, and then love to others through Vibe.
So let's just we've kind of ran out of time. We've gone a bit over, but who cares? It's such an amazing project. We need to get you back for a part 2, actually. So let's talk about, so this was a cover reveal. So this is a cover. Do you want to say something about it, Heather?
I just absolutely love it. And I think it just takes you on a journey, even before you open the front cover. It's kind of like flowing, and it's like a river that you get on that boat, don't you? You can't just see around that bend, but you kind of get a surprise when the boat goes the way it goes. And that's what I see. I think everybody is unique. Everybody will see something different, which is the wonder of colour. We all see it in our own unique way. And I trust that people will be drawn in to see, well, what is this about?
Yeah, absolutely. And who was the designer of the cover?
Jennifer McCluskey.
From?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so we are truly international. I think we've covered about five of the continents at least. Yeah, we've definitely got 5 continents in the book. And it's breathtaking. Her work is beautiful. She's called Dirty Pouring Girl. See her on Instagram.
Girl Pouring.
Oh, Dirty Girl Pouring. Did I say it the wrong way round?
Yeah, Dirty Girl Pouring.
Dirty Girl Pouring, sorry. Oh my goodness, I should have had it in front of me. Yeah, I think I started off with it. And so much so, her work is phenomenal that I've ordered some work for to be shipped across for the office here in our brand colours. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's all about the love. So so Joe, when is the launch and where is it?
Of course, it's on the 11th of November, the 11th. It is in Hove, East Sussex, which is actually where I live. But thankfully that Brenda and Heather came down for lunch one day, and I just happened to mention that we could have the launch here. It's in the most beautiful venue, right on the beach, literally. This venue is not only really excited about the launch for us, they are actually in the book. It's called Rockwater. You can look them up, rockwater.uk. It's a stunning venue. It starts at 6 p.m. on Thursday, the 11th of November. We're going to have a lovely drink first and celebrate Vibe and talk about Vibe. And Heather and I will be obviously book signing. And then join us for dinner after 8 p.m. We're going to go upstairs to the roof terrace, which will be November, so probably not the best of sunsets by then. It'll be pitch black. But anyway, it's a beautiful venue. It's all about energy and light. And so we'd really love you to join us to celebrate this remarkable book. A lot of our contributors will be there, including the designer of our cover who's coming over from America, which is just incredible.
And where can they get more details about this?
So they just need to go to our website, which is vibe-book.com, vibe-book.com. You can pre-order the book, you can tell us you're coming to the book launch, and you can get an insight into what this book will be. Obviously, we're not sharing all our pictures in there because we're not allowed to do that. That would be totally off plot. But there's a couple of suggestions of the images that are in there, and you'll get a feel for this incredible book. Obviously, it's the best Christmas present that you can possibly give this Christmas. So you can get your pre-orders in now if you want to ensure that you've got your copies for Christmas.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, I'm going to have you back. I'm going to have you back individually and to talk about you and the work that you do and your expertise. I'm going to get you back for a part 2 of the author's journey in the author's voice, because there's just so much we haven't touched on today that's really important in bringing this book together. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for choosing to work with me.
We thank you.
Thanks, Brenda.
And I think definitely one of the things is being aligned with your publisher, and the fact that we're all on this spiritual journey definitely helped us so much. So ladies, thank you so much. I wish you every success. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning, because this is about going beyond your book. So until the next time, thank you, Heather, for joining us.
Thank you.
And Joe, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Brenda. Great talking.
And everybody else, remember, be brilliant. Much love, and until next time, toodle pip.
Bye.